Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. I have some products I want to share with you today. Today's video is sponsored by Skin 1004, which is a play on words. I think it's pronounced Cheonsa, which means angel in Korean. So it's like Skin Angel, which is really cute. And you may remember this brand because I have talked about their products a fair bit before. But I have an amazing sunscreen I want to introduce you to, a serum that is a good firm favorite, and then four products which I am in love with at the moment. You just wait. And honestly, this sunscreen is a sunscreen I think you definitely need to try. I would highly recommend you try this. Consider this a sort of brand review. So the first product is the Madagascar Centella Hyaluronic Water Fit Sun Serum. This is an SPF 50 plus, PA4 pluses. Water Fit Sun Serum perfectly describes the texture of this sunscreen. It is a chemical sunscreen, my favorite type of sunscreen. I don't have time to mess around with white casts. It is kind of watery on skin. It just melts into the skin so easily. You can see in my application process, I'm applying a little bit more than the required amount, mainly because 2 fingers is meant to cover your face and neck, but I usually do 2 fingers for my face, then another 2 for my neck, just so I can guarantee full coverage. And it looks like a mess, but then it just instantly starts disappearing into the skin, and it's so comfortable on the skin. You also see Hyaluronic, which I can pretty much guarantee you already know what that is, a combination of hyaluronic acid and Centella asiatica working together to help heal and soothe the skin and hydrate the skin as well. And that's one thing I love about this sunscreen, is that this is just my moisturizer. Like, I will use a serum, then go straight into a moisturizer, because this is like hydrating and moisturizing enough to just be a moisturizer. Even with my drier cheeks, my oily T-zone, it kind of fits perfectly for both. It's freezing here at the moment, and it's enough to kind of keep my skin feeling moisturized and well protected during the colder kind of like skin pinching weather. But in the summer, this is going to be a really nice light, almost like refreshing and cooling feeling moisturizer that just happens to actually be a sunscreen as well. This does have a dewy finish, but it's not as extreme as it always looks under these studio lights. But you can really see it's not just dewy, it's not just greasy, your skin looks hydrated. This has no smell to it, and I'm not just saying there's no fragrance in it. I can't smell it, and I don't know if it's just me, but usually these amazing kind of like watery sunscreen textures have a very alcohol-y smell to them, which I don't mind because I know that, you know, it's not necessarily going to dry up my skin. It's more of a delivery method, but this just smells like nothing. Like, when I first got this product, I was like putting it on my hand and trying to smell it, but it doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't sting the face, it doesn't irritate. I will be using this more in summer when I am outside, and I will be genuinely applying every 2 hours. So I want to know that I could build up a sunscreen without my skin feeling bogged down and stingy and sweaty and, you know, all that kind of stuff. We also have some nice antioxidants in here in the form of green tea and broccoli as well. I'm seeing broccoli more and more. I think people are starting to really like it as an ingredient. So you've got some nice antioxidants in your sunscreen too. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the packaging. I thought this was a little bit difficult to use, but what I do like about this is you can pump this out onto your 2 fingers and kind of get like a rough idea of how much you need per pump. So for me, I just do 10 quick pumps, and that's enough to cover my face and neck. Here we go. This is a bit of an icon. This is a new one because I want to show you it nice on screen, but I use this particular serum on and off all year round. It's just a nice serum to fall back on if you're somebody like me or like us, where we like experiment with skincare, we like using what's new. The Madagascar Centella Ampoule, made with pure Centella from Madagascar. So we all know Centella is probably one of my favorite ultimate healing, soothing ingredients. Well, this is pretty much just Centella in a bottle. How good is that? It's such a nice staple in a routine that not only is going to help heal and soothe my skin, but help repair my skin barrier. And especially with redness as well, somebody with rosacea and easily sensitized skin, when my barrier is compromised, when it's feeling irritated, I get very, very red, I get very itchy. So something soothing and calming and healing is a must in my routine. What I like about this in particular is it's in between like a serumy and water texture. So there's so many things you can do with it. One thing I like to do with this, I think I said in my last video when I mentioned this, is put it onto cotton pads and just kind of leave that on my rosacea, just to bring the heat down, bring the irritation down, bring the inflammation right down. I could just leave that on my skin for like 15 minutes to half an hour, just really soothe and calm. And I do that with any patches of irritation. But as I said, just a great one to have almost as like a backup for when your skin does inevitably need some soothing and healing. So they actually sent me a load of stuff like earlier on in the year, and one of the products, they didn't ask me to talk about this, I requested to talk about this in this video. This is the Pormizing line, and obviously from the name you can guess this is a pore minimizing range of products. And here's the thing, even though I'm pretty good with my skincare routines, right, and my pores haven't been massive since I was a teenager, as somebody with a naturally very oily T-zone, enlarged pores is something I still struggle on and off with in my T-zone especially. What I usually hate about pore minimizing products is they're drying. They're usually filled with like very drying alcohol, formulated in a way that makes that alcohol drying. They're usually mattifying. They're usually just everything I want to avoid from pore minimizing products. However, these products are nothing like that, nothing like that. So this is their cleanser, which to be honest with you is a really nice standard cleanser. Their deep cleansing foam made with pure centella, as is everything in this brand. But we also have mineral rich pink Himalaya salt, but we also have papain and kaolin powder. So we usually see that in like clay masks, but this isn't here to like dry out our skin and dry on our skin. This provides a very, very, very gentle and slight buffing kind of feeling to the cleanser, helping cleanse away dirt, excess sebum, and very gently buffing away dead skin cells, so you can use this daily with no issues. Whilst of course the centella helps soothe. Now, okay, so this, I might just be alone on this, but let me know if you know what I mean. You know when you use a cleanser, this is a very nice gentle foaming cleanser. You know when you do use cleansers that are maybe a bit too drying, and you wash it off, but your skin looks kind of like really, your pores do look tight, but that's usually because the cleanser's dried you out. This doesn't dry you out, but your skin looks like your pores look tight. And then usually that goes away, right? You then put it on your toner, it's like, oh, I can see everything again. Because sometimes I like the look of my skin right after a cleanser. I'm like, I don't want to do anything else now because everything looks so tight and even. Is that just me? I feel like other people do that too. So this gives you that look without drying you out. When I go straight onto the toner, which is the Pormizing Clear Toner. And this is a very slightly exfoliating toner as well. So we have PHA, AHA, BHA, and LHA, which is lipohydroxy acid, which is a derivative of salicylic acid. And then BHA in the form of salicylic acid and AHA in the form of glycolic acid. But it's very, very gentle. Along with that centella and the sodium hyaluronate in here, you're getting some really nice soothing and hydrating effects, and this carries on from the cleanser of making your skin look tight in the nicest way. It doesn't feel tight, it feels very hydrated, but it feels all like everything just looks like locked in and even and tight, and I love this so much. They do recommend you don't use this any more than 3 times a week because it is an actual exfoliating toner, but I just wanted to emphasize how gentle this really was. I was using it without even realizing it was an exfoliant. So yes, I have dropped down to 4 times a week. My skin is used to exfoliants, especially very gentle, soothing ones like this. We then have their Pormizing Fresh Ample. Again, I'm getting through it. These products go a long way. This serum is again made with Himalayan pink salt to help with that excess sebum. There's something about salt in skincare that sounds really drying. It's not. These are anything but. We also have the peptide 9 complex in here, which is great for like helping with fine lines, wrinkles. One of my favorite ingredients, aloe, for that hydration, for that like soothing property as well. Then of course, healing and soothing Centella Asiatica. It's kind of like a merge of 2 serums that shouldn't exist. I always think like people with very oily skin who have issues with enlarged pores, products aren't usually made to target that are also healing and soothing. Like I said, they're usually the exact opposite. They're usually drying, they're usually stripping, but this is nothing like that. You don't usually see that kind of like dewiness to those products. So yeah, really, really good. The Pormizing Light Gel Cream. I've never used a moisturizer quite like this one, and for me it's not in big enough packaging. I need it in 125ml because this is the nicest this is like solidified water. You put it on and it just like quenches your skin. It like glides over and it's so watery and so hydrating, so light yet moisturizing at the same time. It's so nice. Like the video of me using it doesn't do it justice. It doesn't do the feeling that you're going to feel with this moisturizer justice. It's a cooling, quenching, hydrating, soothing experience. So again, with the pink Himalayan salt, we also have aloe and niacinamide in here as well to help brighten, control that sebum, help with enlarged pores. I don't know how to describe this without you actually using it. Like I really want you to try it. Like I really want you to try it. Like this feels like a quenching sunscreen, and this feels like just a water to help hydrate your skin. This is so incredibly light. For winter, it's maybe a little bit too light. I've actually been using this almost as a serum just to get in that extra dose of hydration and to work on my pores as well. I'll put like a thicker moisturizer over it. In summer, this will be it if I'm going to use a moisturizer, but you know, this is kind of both. But you could use this in line with this, get really, really good hydration from this, and feel like you're using a moisturizer with this, because this is so non-intrusive and so light that you're going to be able to layer up over the top of it without your skin feeling heavy again. So yeah, that is definitely one of my more favorite lines to come out of this brand. This sunscreen is just one of the nicest, most soothing, quenching, hydrating moisturizers, sunscreens I've used in a long time. So yes, all the links will be in the description box down below. Thanks so much again to Skin 1004 Skin Angel for sponsoring today's video. Let me know if you tried this brand or what products you want to try, honestly. So let me know if you want to try any of these, or if some of these are already favorites, down in the comments down below. Watch some more product reviews here and some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.